Tesla just delivered over 84,000 vehicles, Tesla Shanghai, in the month of August, which is an absolute sheesh moment because I thought in August they're going to do around 60,000 because of the upgrades. But apparently they already did the upgrades and they still did 84,000. That is flipping insane. That is crazy. And yes, we're going to add it to the daily production chart and see what Q3 is going to be in terms of production and deliveries. So if you guys are ready, man, smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go. So here's the production and the delivery chart that we do pretty much every single month, but mainly once Shanghai releases the delivery numbers every single month. But nonetheless, we still do this. And if you guys want access to this chart and the stock price prediction on a quarterly basis with everything included, which we'll look at that after here as well, check out Patreon over here. Because yes, if you guys can support me there, you guys will have access to all my Tesla master charts. So it's good stuff. Let's start off with August, July and August. So in July, we had over 64,000 vehicle in deliveries. In August, we had over 84,000 in deliveries, which is absolutely insane. So far, Tesla this quarter, as we know, has delivered almost 150,000 vehicles, which is just insane because it's only from one factory. But September, how will September look like for Shanghai in terms of production? Not deliveries, production. And I put here 2,500 vehicles being produced every single day for the whole month of September. And we get 75,000 vehicles being produced. And it goes over here as well because that's the production side. We don't want to mix the production and delivery together because then we'll be doubling the numbers. So we don't want to do that. So that is September for Shanghai. Overall, it's about over 200,000 vehicles being produced in each quarter in Shanghai. I think it's more closer to 250,000. But that's insane for a factory in just one factory in Shanghai. I know they're planning to make it bigger, to make it 2 million. That's going to be a very interesting day. But let's move on to Fremont. Fremont, on the daily basis, they produce about 1,700 vehicles. And so in July, I did 30 days of that, which will get 51,000. In August, I subtracted 7 days because they are doing upgrades. In Q3, Elon Musk said that for every single gigafactory there is, they're doing some major upgrades on it. So I'm guessing that it was August that Fremont had 7 days of upgrading. I don't know, it could be more. If you guys know, please comment down below. I'm really interested. I want to know. And that's about almost 41,000 vehicles being delivered in September. They have 1 day off there because of Labor Holiday, which we just passed. Hope you guys had a great weekend. 29 days, multiply that by 1,700. That's over 49,000 vehicles. Overall, Fremont in this Q3 produced over 141,000 vehicles. Moving on to Berlin. Now they're doing about 5,000 vehicle production on the weekly basis, which is about 800 vehicles being produced daily. So for July, we did that. They had no days off. That's about 25,000 vehicles being produced. In August, they didn't mention they're doing 6,000 now. They haven't mentioned that yet. And so I thought they're gonna mention it sometime in August that they hit 6,000 weekly in production. So I reduced it down to 825 vehicles, which would be about 200 off from 6,000 weekly. But nonetheless, I think they're there. I think this month they're going to announce it. But nonetheless, 7 days off because of the Gigafactory upgrades and all that. We get almost 20,000 vehicles being produced. In September, which is this month, I am expecting they'll do 6,000 weekly in production. A bit more than that really for the whole entire month of 875 vehicles being produced daily. For 30 days, that's over 26,000 vehicles. And we get about almost 71,000 in production for Berlin, which is a sheesh moment right there. Same thing with Texas, 5,000 at the moment being produced on the weekly. For July, 750 vehicles being produced every single day for 30 days. That's 22,500 vehicles. In August, 7 days off with 800 vehicles being produced every single day. That's over 19,000 vehicles being produced. And in September, I'm guessing this is where they're also going to hit 6,000 weekly. And for 29 days, because there is a Labor Day off as well, as you all know, that's about almost 25,000 vehicles. Overall production for Texas, over 66,000. Total production, if you reduce the July and August production, because we don't have that number here, it's about 353,000, over that a little bit. If we give it a 95% delivery rate, now this could be more. Most people are saying it's not, but this could be more. That's about 335,635 vehicles being delivered. If we add the July, August from Shanghai, that's over 484,000 vehicle deliveries. Now, if you guys been following me on Twitter, I did say 485,000, but then I realized that, wait a minute, if we haven't reached 6,000 weekly for August for Berlin, then I have to revise that. So I did revise that for that case, which brought it down to 484,000, which is really good, which is beating with all this upgrades and stuff. It's still beating Q2's, which that would mean Q4 is going to be flipping up crazy. It's going to be absolutely insane. Overall, if we add the 484,000 to the 2023 chart, that's about almost 1.4 million vehicle deliveries. That is literally more. Just these 3 quarters alone combined together is more than last year. And we have another quarter to go to. That's going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be a 1.9 million vehicle deliveries this year. 1.9, not 1.8. All right, now let's go put it in the chart. Let's see what the stock price will be this quarter and in Q4. If you guys are ready, man, smash that like button. And by the way, guys, if you guys bought the dip, then, man, you guys need this shirt. You guys need this Tesla shirt. You bought it here. Now it's going to be all the way over here, man. There's also the dollar cost averaging one as well, because you bought here, 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 and there. Use a 10% code of Rip Bears as well. We got mugs, all that kind of stuff there. So you guys can support me there as well. And be part of the community, man. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's get into the stock price. So here's the Tesla stock price prediction chart on a quarterly basis that has everything from the credits to the leasing, services, energy, things that right now we count for in the actual financial statement when Tesla reports and releases their earnings report. Exactly here, but with formulas, which you guys can also get access to in Patreon if you guys want to go ahead and support me there. But everything is here with a formula and everything. So all you got to do is add one number in and that's it. Some notes that I want you guys to take consideration when I'm doing Q3. I reduced the vehicle gross profits from 17.5 to 17.3. If you guys been aware, they've reduced prices all aboard. Model Y, Model S and X. Even though the more sales of S and X there is, the higher the margin will get. But I'm just trying to stay conservative. We just have the Highland coming out, which is absolutely insane. That thing is more expensive than the actual Model 3. But nonetheless, we're having a high demand. A lot of people are ordering the Highland and it looks really gorgeous. If you guys haven't seen it, man, absolutely very nice looking car. That's a car that I would probably order as well if in Kuwait they would allow, if I could get a Tesla there. I also want you guys to take a note of the total energy revenue here of 1.9 billion and total energy profits in the mid 300 million. So it's growing. It's absolutely growing. Now let's put in the number of 484,079 vehicle deliveries and bam, look at all that number coming. I just absolutely love it. Total revenue, almost 26.5 billion. Net income non-GAAP 3.4 billion, which is absolutely nice. But here's the crazy part. Operating margin, even though we're having a decline of vehicle gross profits, operating margin is increasing. Why is that? Because of the energy. You see, guys, energy is growing faster than the vehicle business and with a decent margin as well. For Q3, I put it here of 18%, which that's what it was in Q2, is 18%. So I left it in Q3 of 18% and we get almost 350 million. And obviously we got the services and the leasing and all that kind of stuff, which is high margins for Tesla. That's about 10.5% in operating margin. And that's just insane. Honestly, if we get a record energy profits, which we will, and we are getting lower vehicle gross profits, which I think that's going to happen as well. And if people are still saying that Tesla's still a car company, then why is the operating margin going up? If it wasn't just a car company, right? I don't know. That's something that they Tesla bears have to think about. But as we know, Tesla ain't just a car company. Overall, EPS on the quarterly is 99 cents, so pretty much $1. Wall Street right now at the moment is expecting 80 cents, so obviously it's going to be another beat. I think it's going to be a beat. I mean, every quarter, except for one of the quarters they met in the past, like 4 or 5 quarters, Tesla has been beaten. You never want to bet against Tesla, in my opinion. Again, not financial advice or anything like that. And neither is all this. It's just predicting and all that kind of stuff. So always your DD. But in my opinion, they're going to beat it. It's Tesla. You don't want to bet against them. So what would the stock price would be? Right now, the stock price in the PE is around the 77, which is around 255 at the moment. So if we give it the same PE, then that's about $263 per share, $850 billion. Now, here's the thing. If they beat earnings like they did, like if they're saying 80 cents, 85 cents, and Tesla does $1, then I can probably see the PE go up as high as 85, reaching the 291, almost edging the 300. Not reaching 300 yet, but edging the 300. Now, we could potentially hit 90 PE, which we could go over 300 if everything is looking crazy. If there's a lot of good news, a lot of FOMO in the market, a lot of hype, I can probably see going to 90 PE. But to an 80 PE, I'm going to say 82 PE just to say conservative, $280 per share. I think that would be a fair value for Tesla in Q3 of about $900 billion. Now, if we do have a crash for some reason, I can probably see the PE go as low as 60, maybe even 50. But that's worst case scenario. So I'm 82 PE is what I'm saying. In Q4, I'm saying, honestly, Q4 is going to be so monstrous. I think we could even reach as high as 550,000 vehicle deliveries. But I'm going to, pull back a little bit and say 525,000. Now here, I did increase the vehicle gross profit here as well, 17.5, because the Cybertruck is coming in, the Highland is getting sold, the SNX is more people buying more SNXs. So I can see vehicle gross profits actually going as high as 18%. But keeping conservative at 17.5, putting in the number 525,000 vehicle deliveries, and bam, look at that operating margin, 11.3%, absolutely insane. We have Q4 revenue almost reaching $29.5 billion, net income non-GAAP almost reaching $4 billion, absolutely insane. EPS of $1.14. And look at this, guys. Total revenue for the entire Q4 is over $104 billion, and net income last 4 quarters, which will be the entire Q4, was 11.7. Now that's not bad. Last year in 2022, they did about 12.56, if I'm not mistaken. Them being down just a bit less than $1 billion in this environment that we are in, and all the prices being reduced, is actually pretty darn good. And that would give us an EPS of $1.14. So that is not bad. I think this number is going to be a bit more. I think it's going to be maybe closer to $1.20, but nonetheless, $1.14, we are on the right trajectory, going up and up and up. We are down about 2 cents from Q1 of 2023 in terms of overall EPS. So that's not bad. We stayed flat in a very hard environment. In 2024, my expectations are a whole lot more than this, but what will the stock price be end of this year? If they do $1.14, I can see the stock price or PE go as high as 90, which would be 303. Now, remember, Q4 doesn't come out until January 2024, and we know 2024 is going to be a really good year when it comes down to interest rates being cut, meaning a recession might be coming, maybe a better buying opportunity. I don't know. Usually that's the case, but once interest rates are lower, people can get financing, leasing much more easier and better, and they'll be more comfortable making big capital purchases like a house or a car. And that's exactly what's going to happen in 2024. Now, obviously, the stock market is forward-looking, so I can potentially see Tesla go as high as 100 PE. And if Wall Street says, hold on a second, this FSD thing is, getting a bit, we can see what's happening here. We can probably even see the PE go as high as 125, reaching all-time high of 421. Now, obviously not between January 21st and April 20th of 2024. I'm sure sometime that year we can do it. My price target for 2024, fair price target is $350, but we could probably see hitting all-time high $421 per share, or 420. I'm going to keep it conservative and say 90, 95, maybe even 100, but I'm going to say 90 PE. I think that's okay. Worst comes to worst, 60 PE of $202 per share. I mean, if Tesla stock is 202 in Q4 with all this, the company has grown 3-4 times since last year. So I'm just going to buy more. That's simple as that. But I'm going to keep it a 90 PE, which would literally be over to $300 and almost touching $1 trillion. The realistic price ranges, in my opinion, is between $270 per share to $330 end year of this year, or the first quarter of 2024, because that's when we get the Q4 full fiscal year of 2023. So that's the price targets between now until end of this year. So that's what I think. Again, don't quote me on this. It's all a prediction alone. But look at this, guys. Almost 1.9 million vehicle deliveries, 100,000 more than what Elon promised, and year-over-year growth of 44%, which is not bad at all. Sheesh. Now, if you guys are a long-term investor into Tesla, these quarterly things, it doesn't really matter to you, because, if the stock price in 2030 is going to be 5 or 6 as what it is now, it doesn't really matter what happens quarter to quarter. But I love looking Tesla. I love analyzing Tesla. I like to see what's happening every quarter. I like following the company. It's very interesting. I've never thought I would ever be doing such a thing, but I love it. It's awesome. It's fun to keep track. And if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, then I have no idea what you guys are doing. So follow me there. I do tweet a lot about Tesla, or exit a lot about Tesla, and you'll find a lot of great information and value there as well. But as a long-term investor, I care what the stock price is going to be in 2028, 2030, and beyond. And I made this video here, including everything: the bus, the robotaxi, the insurance, the FSD licensing, the FSD global. Oh my God, it's just a lot of information here. Obviously, not financial advice. Take everything with a grain of salt, but it's very entertaining. Get your I Bought the Dip shirt or dollar cost averaging shirt, 10% off if you use RIP Bears as the code. And don't forget to subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya.